benefits when it comes to eating an insulin-resistant diet. Insulin resistance leads to prediabetes, diabetes, obesity, heart disease, immune deficiency. It affects many of our organs. So if you learn to eat correctly, which is the healthy way and the enjoyable way, I really feel that this can make a tremendous difference to keep disease away, to keep you healthy for a long life, and keep you happy. And insulin resistance is a condition where the body cells become less responsive to the hormone insulin. And it plays a significant role when it comes to regulating our blood sugar or our blood glucose levels. And you can't even imagine how many millions and millions of people throughout the world right now are insulin resistant and don't even know it. And it's quite scary because they have no symptoms. But as this continues to stay around longer and longer, the pancreas starts becoming weaker and weaker. And we start developing higher blood sugars. And with higher blood sugars, we still may not even have any symptoms until it gets too high. And then this can give us significant problems when it comes to our arteries, our eyes, our kidneys, our heart. But when we have too much blood sugar in our bloodstream, it gets stored in our liver or our muscles as glycogen. And unfortunately, when it gets stored, it starts bringing in more water with that glycogen, and that's the reason why many people who have high sugar levels have higher amounts of weight that they're walking around with, because you're walking around with more water because you're carrying around more sugar. But after the sugar cannot be stored anymore, where does it go? Yeah, that's correct. It gets converted to fat, and the bad fat, the visceral fat, the fat that surrounds our belly deep within, around our liver, our stomach, and the important organs, that eventually can lead to lots of inflammatory chemicals that are being secreted that can affect many other organs within our body. So that excessive weight that you're putting on most likely is coming from too much sugars. And when we start reducing the processed refined sugars, those refined carbohydrates, and the unhealthy fats, which may be saturated fats or trans fats. And if we start consuming foods that are low in carbohydrates, even though carbohydrates are healthy, but the carbohydrates that are natural, those that have the fiber, not those that are refined and processed, as well as eating those healthy fats, olive oils, avocados, and our healthy proteins. And that's what's going to take away your insulin resistance and prevent you from getting diabetes. The American Diabetes Association recommends starting out with a dinner plate that's about 9 inches across. You'll then fill half your plate with non-starchy vegetables like broccoli, asparagus, or Brussels sprouts. Next, you'll fill 1/4 of your plate with lean protein foods. It could be salmon, lean beef, chicken, or whatever you like. And the last quarter of your plate will consist of healthy carbs. That includes your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains, and your legumes, which have lots of fiber. And you have to be very careful about adding those sugars. It may be to your coffee or tea, drinking those fruit juices, drinking sodas. Those excess sugars are inflammatory. They're toxic to the body. And get in the habit of trying to drink more water. If it's lemon in the water, orange in your water, whatever it is, but try to get away from those sugary drinks. And there are many health benefits when it comes to eating an insulin resistance diet. This can prevent many, many problems, as well as diabetes. It will improve your heart health because high blood sugar will definitely affect the inside of your arteries. It can cause clogging. And if you're lacking blood supply to your heart, we call it a heart attack, and to your brain, we call it a stroke. And with a little exercise, as well as reducing those processed refined carbs, this can help reverse heart disease. One of my favorite things are fiber, because fiber is a prebiotic. It feeds the probiotics in our microbiome. That reduces inflammation through our entire body. And it will also allow sugars to absorb into the cells of your body much slower, never giving you that spike of insulin or glucose, and you're not going to feel tired. You're going to have lots of energy. And that lower resistance diet, because it's not really a diet, it's a way of life. It's a way of eating. An insulin resistance diet will help reduce obesity. It will help take away that excessive weight you're carrying around. It will reduce that visceral fat. And it will help improve insulin resistance and make you more insulin sensitive. And because now you're eating nutrient-dense foods, nothing that's been processed, this is going to bump up your energy levels. And how many times have you eaten those bad meals, those excessive sugars and carbs, and you felt extremely tired thereafter? Why? Because you spiked up your glucose levels. It rapidly got into the cells as it boosted up that insulin, and now it's starting to fall down real fast. And guess what? Those symptoms of tiredness and fatigue that you may be having on a regular basis, that's where it's coming from. And a low-resistance diet reduces inflammation throughout the entire body, that all diseases are tied into inflammation. Your heart, your brain, your intestines, your liver, and even the joints in your body. If it's your spine, your shoulder, your hip, your knee, and if you're having chronic joint problems, reduce those sugars, eat more nutrient-dense foods, and you will see a big difference. And a low-resistance diet helps your brain, particularly eating those foods that are low glycemic. And the low glycemic index, those are the foods that absorb sugar into the cells much slower. High glycemic foods like sugars absorb sugars into the cells much faster. And the slower we absorb those sugars into the cells, the more we can focus, the better our memory is, the less anxious we are, the less depressed we become. So make it a habit to eat those nutrient-dense foods, that fiber, and get rid of those processed and refined carbs. We know that excessive sugars can be highly toxic. They're definitely inflammatory, and it changes the pH of our bloodstream, making it more acidic. Those sugars have a tremendous role in feeding the wrong bacteria, or the bad bacteria in our microbiome within our intestines and our gut. And this can actually lead to candida, yes, we call that yeast infections, which can manifest throughout your entire body. And it's extremely important that you understand that an insulin resistance diet is just not for those who are insulin resistant. It's for everyone. It's preventing insulin resistance. It's preventing pre-diabetes and diabetes. It's preventing heart disease, cardiovascular problems. It's preventing a multitude of potential problems that could be occurring in our bodies. We must eat healthy. That is the bottom line. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share it with your friends and family. And most important, make it a great day. I'm Dr. Alan Mandel.